the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. So updates are maybe not as significant as what we've had on the Fold 7, but nevertheless, they are pretty good. So bezels have been reduced by 7% overall. The cover display is where it's mainly at. So it's now 4.1 inches, up from 3.4 inches. And it's a 120 hertz display with 2600 nits of brightness. And it's the largest ever flex window that they've ever had. Now, first thing I'm going to say, and I'm sure people are going to be saying it, it looks exactly like a Motorola Razr 60 Ultra. The naming always confuses me because they used to have different namings based on region. But hey, the Motorola Razr 60 Ultra, where it kind of covers, and Motorola have been doing that, in all fairness, they have been doing that for a few years now, right? Where you kind of have the cameras that kind of cut out from the display. But now Samsung's doing it. So because Samsung's doing it with their software, we expect them to have more support with lots of apps. It's also now a 6.9-inch main display, up from 6.7 inches. And it's also wider. So it's almost as wide as an S25 Plus. So when you are using it, it's going to look and feel like a regular smartphone. Again, this is where it gets really interesting because you just flip it open and you've got that. One of the things that I'm definitely happy about is that we have a larger 4,300 milliamp hour battery. So the interesting thing here is the battery is only 100 milliamps smaller compared to what we've got in the Z Fold 7. All right. Now, this is for a much smaller device. So battery life has significantly improved. But here's the thing. Exynos 2500 3nm processor.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do a gaming video for you guys to see how it performs. Is my first thing. I think, to be fair to Samsung, if you want to just be partial, they looked at it and they went, the crowd who buys the Flip isn't doing that much crazy stuff. They're buying it for the style, the aesthetics. It's more of a lifestyle device, as opposed to the Fold is closer to a power user device, right? It's really closer to that aspect, or at least a multi-use device. This is more of a style focused device. Now, I've seen some decent things from the 2500, and the 2500 is supposed to compete with the 8 Elite anyway, right? Now, the main thing is the battery consumption on that device. If it does a really good job in at least managing battery expectations, then we should be fine. But I think overall, though, with the look of the device looking similar to the Moto, with the cutouts, I think that was a natural progression because they both originally had the same kind of camera cutouts anyway. It's just that Moto just went there first. Moto went, to the full screen. So that's something to be there. But the one thing I want to see from them software-wise is being able to have just full app support and not using Samsung's the Good Luck app. Yes. So just being able to naturally just load whatever you want to load up there, instead of using the Good Luck app. And I would say maybe the Good Luck app was used because of the weird aspect ratio, but now that you have something more symmetrical, that should be easier to use. I mean, I like it. I like the way it looks. It's just about seeing what that kind of performance brings, and also what the pricing will be for it, so that people can now take advantage.
Because UK, again, pricing, as far as I can see, the pricing again is going to be the same in the UK as the Flip 6 was last year. So that's going to be, well, you're getting definitely an upgrade, just not as upgraded as what we've got on the Fold 7, right? Also, the first Flip to support Samsung DeX. So previous Flip devices have not had support for Samsung DeX, but now this one does, if that matters to you. What's interesting to me is, okay, so Samsung made this super thin device, which is the S25 Edge, okay? Now, if you consider the Flip, technically that could be considered more compact. Yes, it's not as thin, but it folds in half. So, you can easily fit it into your purse or your pocket, depending on what you choose to rock with you, right? So with this, it kind of just like makes me think that, okay, if somebody's thinking about it, would they want to go for the Edge or would they want to go for the Flip? Because the Flip, as I said, in certain aspects is more compact.
I think it really depends. I think it's both of style and function in two different aspects, right? You have the Flip users want to have that front display, being able to tabletop it, like you're doing different things with it, to be fair, right?
Mm.
While the Edge is more style for general comfort for a regular phone. I don't want it too heavy. I don't want it too thick. I just want to be able to slide in my pocket and not feel like I'm taking this, my set of keys, my bulky phone, and my wallet all just bulging left and right. Like you want
Yeah.
it to just be comfortable, and I think that's where the difference is. And I think these two devices, on the flip side, it benefits from the fact that now you have that bigger screen. I think
On
on
the
the
flip
edge,
side, sorry, I had to.
I didn't realize I made that.
My bad,
And
my apologies.
and then on the edge side, you're looking at something that honestly right now is not doing well in sales, according to reports, but will benefit from when Apple launches the Air it's rumored to in September, where a lot of people will go, okay, now I can see why that this is important here. So that will be
Yeah.
interesting to see.
There's one more thing, and that is the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE. Now, this is
Yes,
essentially a Flip 6, but it's got the Exynos 2400, right? At a lower price now, okay? So this is kind of like, hey, you still want a flip, you still want a foldable device. Maybe Samsung had lots of parts left over, as you were saying. They probably didn't sell too many Flip 6s. So they were like, okay, let's try to flip them. Anyway.
of course, of course. Now you're just going with puns. Puns are
Sorry,
ridiculous.
man.
I mean, but
We're gonna
but
have
here's
way
the
more coming up with the nothing.
but here's the thing about this that I like.
Okay.
I want to see foldables at 500, like not even like on a holiday sale, but like close to it, so that you may launch at like 6, 7, and then before you know it, it's $500, and that's an easier entry point for a lot of people. To get whether it's the FE. The other thing I was thinking about with the Exynos versions, I know this is Samsung's chip, but there's also a Snapdragon 8S Gen 4, not an Elite, an 8S Gen 4, which is out there. Would that have been a better processor to put in there, both for power and also efficiency? Because that line is still quite good. So it's an interesting question to see how that will perform once we get time to actually do our testing and all that stuff. But I don't
But
know.
I also think that the on your point of price, right? For Samsung, using their own in-house chips just makes more
Cheaper.
sense, right? You're going to be able to bring the cost down for consumers as well because it's costing you less. You're not having to pay, you're not having to pay Qualcomm anything, right? So when it comes to that, I see why they've done that. But Flip 7 FE still some way off the 500 mark. I think but you could pick up a second-hand Flip 5 maybe. Or Flips. Look at that look that he's got there. Thinking, oh no.
No.
Flip 5, Flip 6, you might be able to pick up for around that sort of price, potentially. So, a brand new device at that price. Because the thing is, even with the Fold, right, it does drop value after a bit. And this is why trading it in is usually a good idea.
Yeah. True. That's very true.